Okay, our final step here, well, besides looking at the site analysis plan that Michael created while he was out there, we just need to implement some details. Michael kind of did his best to make some, draw the driveway in, but I think this is actually just a copy from the survey that Manuel had originally put on there. So what we want to do is just maybe draw in the beds and the trees. Let me show you how to draw trees in there. So all you need is a circle. That's it. And I recommend a planter. So there we go. After you got that, just copy and paste for the trees. Get in the center. Now Michael's orientations, or what they mean, so these asterisks mean they are hardwood trees and the solid dots are pines. So if you want to take the next step and actually add in the different types of trees, and that's great too. You can, especially the pines. I use that standard, I think it's a red pine. I don't really care for the loblolly one that they have in Pool Studio that much. It's better than what it used to be, but sometimes in the video Michael will actually go through there and tell you what kinds of trees they are. That's sometimes a cluster of yaupons is what these little dots can be. There's probably going to be a smaller tree right here for this one. And you can, if we want to, maybe reduce it, but it doesn't have to be, whoops. We've got some smaller trees in this area. You just don't want to do ginormous. You need to kind of realize that, if it is a really large tree, then that's great. You can put it in there. But somewhere between a 6-inch to a 12-inch diameter circle is usually good for these trees. If Michael notates on the plan that it's a much larger tree, then great, go ahead and put that on there. The point is, what we're trying to do is just notate where the trees are, so then later on when we're doing the 3D we can really go in there and get more details on these guys. Michael really tries hard to paste these off and put them in as accurately as possible, so you want to make sure that you're just including them in there. It saves me time when you get these guys in there, and kind of go from there. He usually is also pretty good about notating where doors at and stuff, so we should be able to finish off this driveway. And I looked at the video, and yeah, it's definitely only like a 3-foot sidewalk. And it doesn't even look like it looks like the sidewalk does turn, and like it kind of stops, and this driveway goes to here, and there's nothing here. This garage was kind of an add-on, and there's maybe like, from what I can kind of tell in the video, there's maybe like 3 feet in here, so that might even be too far away. But for this first stage, for plan 1, when you're doing a 2D plan, this should be good. So now we can delete this, so we've at least got a finished product. Let's check on the pool compared to what Michael drew. So we're pretty close. We could definitely go through and kind of correct the concrete areas. His pool was a little bit further in. I feel like my pool was fairly accurate, except for around here. I couldn't tell. Sometimes their light colored coping was difficult to see with what it is. Gates are also important, and Michael also tries to do a good job of notating exactly where the gates are at and which direction they open. So that's a critical feature too. So we could go ahead and add in the fence. Now, because of the 2D plan, we don't need to get in here and actually figure out what type of fence, but if you want to take it a step above and put in the fence, you can, like the type of fence. So this is a wrought iron 4-foot fence here, and I did delete the property line, but I think they actually do, so I'll need to go back in and re-put in the survey, because after looking at the video, the fence does not go all the way to the water the way most typical lake properties do. This one follows the property line, I believe. So I'll need to add that back in. For now, I'm going to follow this here across, and it's going to be pretty simple to change that. So then the fence kind of comes to right here at the back of the garage. Let me double check that video. He does not have any fences in the front, according to the video. Let's see here. I think we've got all that other stuff in here. So now we want to go ahead and add in the rest of the planter, the beds. So for this particular project, the homeowner is wanting us to irrigate grass and irrigate all the turf areas. So we're going to grade, level. So figuring out exactly what you're doing for the property is kind of important. So then we know exactly what we're trying to achieve with the plans that we're doing. So for this one here, we need an estimate. Basically what we need an estimate for is how much grass there is. So for grading, all that stuff. Oh, I believe actually Michael had... There we go. A couple little beds here. Go ahead and pop these guys in. This in the video, this let me do it. This curves off, it doesn't actually go straight like that. The more accurate you can get your stuff, the better. Just never know exactly what we're going to be doing with it. we were limited on conflicting information between the survey, the actual property picture. The survey itself was contradictory because if you remember from part 1, the dimensions on the survey were different than the actual picture that was drawn. So that was very, very disheartening. You know, doing work that is basically, you know, is inaccurate is very frustrating as a drafter or designer. I usually make my radius a little prettier. Michael tries to follow exactly what they have in there, which is great, and you can too. You can follow the exact crazy radius that most people have. It's probably better if you do get as accurate as you can. Because the idea is essentially that if we were to come in and add landscaping, but my beds were smaller than this bed, then I would need to know how much grass area to fill in. That's the purpose of putting in these planters ahead of time. It helps us kind of determine that piece of it. This whole thing actually, it's not really a bed. Let's see what Michael kind of draws up. Yeah. So then I think pretty much this whole space here on this other side is planter. There's a tiny bit of space over here. I don't know exactly if he's okay, and then just double check to make sure. So these are the canopy of the tree. That's what Michael is drawing with those other bigger circles. I think we have everything pretty well in. Oh, there's one bed here in the middle that I didn't draw. Okay, we're really not worried about anything outside of the fence for now. And that's future concept 2, I believe. I don't think that's for concept 1. But basically, you know, if you present him with that. The other thing that you could possibly do would be to mark the gutters. So if we go to house and it's actually a pretty simple house to draw in. Full studio. Roof up 1 inch. Let's go ahead and set it at 10 feet up, and then this here is a gable on both sides. Let's see if this works here. Yeah. I can't remember exactly what that is. We're in 2D, so I'm not really worried about it. And then cable. Okay, now this one had gutters on it based on the video, and then this gutters. Now this here did not have a gutter. There was a downspout. Here. So we have a large mailbox to the front left of the driveway. Okay. I think Mike said too that there is a gas meter. Yeah, that there's a gas meter up here on the left-hand side of the property. I don't know if there's like a telephone pole or something here on the left. I don't know if that's in their property or not. But essentially here we get up close. There's the electric meter in the front right corner of the house. This is all stuff, even for a 2D plan, that I would love for you to place. There's other utilities here, but yeah, the pool equipment, everything looks pretty accurate here on this thing. So I'm just trying to fast forward through the video. So this is the front porch corner there. Okay, so we have a downspout right here. See, that's frustrating. Okay. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. There's no gutters on this side of the house. It's mainly just that front. I was trying to think if there was a gutter on each side of that front pedestal there. Yep. Yeah, you need to see there's a gutter on that back. Yep, check out that one. There's no room for any grass or anything along here. There's a gate here. It's a double gate. Okay, so it looks like it comes up like 3 feet. I don't know what. Yeah, so Michael has this up just a little bit. Oops. Move this up. And then I think he didn't really mark it, but I think there's a double gate right here. So here's how I do double gates. These are just doors sunk way underground, so then that way you can't see them. Yes, that's a double gate there. So then there's a gutter here on this back corner of the house as well. There's those spiral staircases. There's another gutter over here. So it looks like to me, this actually ends in the flat part. Which, yeah, so that would make that hardscape inaccurate there. And there is a spiral staircase. You can see a little bit better from right there. So just kind of watching the video real quick, just to make sure there's nothing that's that we're missing. So it does look like there's a gutter that runs along this length there. There's probably a downspout over there. No downspout there. There's a little gate. So that definitely does not look like concrete, but maybe it is. Actually, yeah, it is. It's a ramp. Goes down. There's a little gate right there. Actually looks like it comes out a few inches there. So then that comes down on that portion of it. Okay. It's the gate. It's one section in, about 8 feet in. You can see the slope on that, but we're not worried about that at the moment. Yeah. So it looks like there's a gutter right here as well too. I don't think I ever had a house there. I think it was just a custom feature. Let's go ahead and raise it 10. Let's go ahead and put gutters. And I don't think there was a gutter on that. No gutters. Gutter there, you can see that. And no gutter over here. So let's see. Well, look at that. Can't do it. Okay. I think this is good. So if you get it to this level, go ahead and delete out your other thing here. You can leave the background in this one here. Upload this information to Pool Studio and you should be good to go. I'll show you how to price this one out next.